And welcome back to What If. Today's What If is a one-shot from, who was it? Roger Ray? Was that it? No, it was Martin Durable. Roger Ray gave me something else. With that being said, what if Sakura actually had beaten Ino in the Chunin exams? Now, this sounds like a big change, but there's a reason it's a one-shot. I've actually had this happen multiple times in the what ifs I've done. Now, granted, Sakura's either much stronger there or just strong enough to edge her out. So, if the Sakura we got in the original, with no other changes that have been going on here, just in the original, beat Ino, what would happen? Well, first off, she'd get to go to the finals. That means she'd be getting some sort of training from someone. My best guess, and this would just be my best guess, it would be actually Kurenai, who would probably train, and maybe a little help from Anko. This means that Sakura would definitely be leaning more into Genjutsu. She'd be maybe learning how to use the Senbons, that what she knows is actually a specialty of Anko. At least I believe that's a specialty of Anko. We know she's good with them. She made the Konoha leaf symbol with them. Of course, those weren't Senbon. Those were, was it Dango? Is that what they're called? The little sweet dumplings. So, either way, I think those would be the two things she focused on. Sakura's chakra would mean she'd probably get at least 3 or 4 Genjutsu down. Low-level Genjutsu, she'd probably have like 3 or 4 down, minimum. High-level Genjutsu, at least 1 or 2, like really powerful ones. Now, that also means, though, who would she go up against in the finals? I usually have it that she just squared up with Dosu, because it just makes the most sense. Without knowing when she's taking a ball out of there, we have no idea of when what the match would actually be. So, for the sake of argument, let's just say she would be going up against Dosu. But Dosu would still probably go after Gaara. So, it's like, if I get rid of you first, then I'll have an easier chance at Sasuke. The moon's out. My bloodlust rises. What are you? It kills him. So, Sakura would actually have to go up against Tamari. And Tamari would have been a little tired out from her fight. Now, she's still the tougher individual. She's still able to deal more damage with her Winjutsu, and she is more intelligent than Sakura. But adding Genjutsu onto it means, A, she's going to have to figure out she's under a Genjutsu, and B, get out of the Genjutsu before Sakura gets a lethal strike, or just a finishing blow, or put her in a scenario where she would be beaten. You'll notice I'm not doing much character-to-character interactions here. That's because I don't think it's relevant. Okay, wonderful, great. After that, it's kind of irrelevant. Like Sakura being in the finals, she's stronger here. She's got more under her belt. But really, when we break it down, what else can she do? She's not part of the Tsunade rescue arc, or retrieval arc. Even with Genjutsu, can't really stop Naruto and Sasuke fighting. She can't stop Sasuke with Genjutsu because of his Sharingan, and the curse mark acting as a secondary source of chakra to offset Genjutsu. So, part 1 just ends there. She still has all her abilities. I do think she still trains under Tsunade, which means now you have all of Sakura's physical abilities and healing abilities she gets, add on to probably more Genjutsu she learns over the years. So now you have a Genjutsu specialist with all of Sakura's strength and healing capabilities. You have one of the strongest individuals in Konoha is what you have. She wasn't Tsunade 2.0 at the beginning of Shippuden. By the end of Shippuden and going into Boruto, she's Tsunade 2.0. And now you have Tsunade True 2.0, like an improved version of Tsunade there. So after that, Kakashi, we know with the Sharingan could probably see through her Genjutsu, so even as strong as they might be, so that's not going to work. Senbon, she probably maybe learns a little bit about poisons, doesn't matter. In the Gaara retrieval arc, what's she going to really do? She's not putting Itachi in a Genjutsu, that's for certain. And Sasori, here's the thing, no one used Genjutsu on Sasori, but that's probably because Sasori basically just has a flesh component. Most likely, it's whatever his soul or spirit is, it's probably a combination of mix of his brain and chakra network. That's pretty much it. It had a seal on it too, so it probably was a specialized thing he made. How he actually did that is I don't think anyone actually really asked the question how he did it, because we have to understand, that's the only living component of him. So, organic. So how did he, over time, what he must have done is replace parts of his body as he went along, and then through some means of some sort of jutsu, put his core essence into something, like stick something into his body, put his core essence, spirit, whatever you want to call it, in there, and then stick it in the puppet, and there you go. That's got to be it, because otherwise, like, okay, like dying, like that's brain. How's that work? So there you go. So Sakura really wouldn't be able to do anything against Sasori because he probably isn't really affected by Genjutsu, I have to guess. And now if he is, well, they would defeat him easier. Chio would still give her life for Gaara, so even if she's poisoned, it doesn't matter. Then you would move into the Tenchi Bridge arc. Sakura could try to put... Actually, she might be able to put Kabuto under a Genjutsu, which would be helpful, but doesn't matter because Naruto rages into Four Tails mode and almost kills her. So again, her beating Ino is irrelevant for this, irrelevant when they meet Sasuke, irrelevant really for Kakuzu and Hidan because Naruto needed to do it himself. Honestly, it really, like, she might try to put him under Obito under a Genjutsu during the other retrieval arc, but again, I can never remember the name of that one. But again, he'll just negate it. It's like, nice try, Sakura Haruno, but that's not going to work on me. And we know the paths of pain because they're just dead corpses. Genjutsu doesn't work on them. Actually, that's not true. We know they do. Sorry. I was thinking of the filler with Ibiki using that pain jutsu. They don't feel pain. That's we don't have pain. Doesn't feel pain. That's why his pain jutsu, whatever Ibiki was using, wasn't working. Mind you, it's filler, but still. Genjutsu actually does work on the paths of pain. It does. So, apart from that, she could aid on the battlefield against the other paths, but really all she ever did was murder one of the animals. She didn't really come across any of the paths. So, she's kind of irrelevant here, too. And then when you go into the Kage Summit arc, she's kind of irrelevant there, too. Because she's trying to stop Sasuke, trying to persuade him, trying to stop Naruto. None of that's going to work, so irrelevant there, too. And then you get into the war arc. I don't know if Edo Tensei can be put under Genjutsu. That's actually very... No, they can't be put under Genjutsu because that's exactly what Itachi did to himself to break him out. Okay, so this is where Sakura would actually have a chance to shine. Because using Genjutsu to halt the Edo Tensei so they can be sealed would be invaluable. And again, the only reason I know that they can be put under Genjutsu is because we know for a fact that's what Itachi did to break himself out of Edo Tensei. So, otherwise, it'd be debatable. But, I mean, they still have a chakra system. They still have replenishing chakra. So, by all accounts, you should be able to do it. This is assuming, of course, that they don't release themselves from the Genjutsu or have an ability that does that. For example, someone who can just flex their chakra randomly, like a Jinchuriki or like the third Raikage, sure, they're breaking out, no problem. But Lesser Ninja, the Seventh Swordsman, all that could work. So Sakura, and at this point, Sakura's level of Genjutsu is probably the best in the series for a non-Sharingan Tsukayoma user. So then she'd probably prove invaluable a little bit, putting individuals under Genjutsu, then sealing them away, all that. But then you get into the final fight where can Kaguya be put under a Genjutsu? She has a Sharingan. It's not a Sharingan. Screw you. It's Sharingan. But she has that, so I'd have to guess, and a Byakugan as well. She has Byakugan. Like, it never really gets brought up, but she does have Byakugan. So, I mean, she has the eyes anyway, so yeah. So no, she probably isn't affected by Genjutsu. So, Sakura's strength still comes in handy. She can use Senbons to maybe paralyze her temporarily, or something like that, and for pressure points. But otherwise, yeah, Sakura beating Ino in the main series without any other changes going on strengthens her character, sure, but it's not a huge drastic change. Anyway, that's my thoughts. And anywho, what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.